Have you ever lost someone who meant everything? I'm not talking about a colleague, an acquaintance, or someone you liked. That's not easy either. But I'm talking about someone who was your whole world. The person who knew you just by looking at you, who could tell when you were hurting even with a smile on your face. This is the story of Lucas. Lucas was 17 years old. He wasn't famous, a genius, or an athlete. He was just an ordinary guy like you and me. But there was something about him that stood out. He was wholehearted with the people he loved, and he loved his mother deeply, not in a formal, distant way. It was deeper than that. She was his best friend, confidant, and safe haven. While many young people complained about their parents, he was grateful. He used to say, "My mom is my foundation. With her I can handle anything. But the world isn't always fair. Sometimes it takes away the very hand that holds us up." It was on an ordinary morning when the phone rang, a morning he would erase from time if he could. His mother passed away suddenly. No warning. No goodbye. The ground vanished from under him, and there was no one there to break his fall. The shock was so deep that Lucas could barely breathe. Lucas didn't cry at the funeral, not out of coldness, but because he was empty, as if his body had stayed, but his soul left with her. In the early days, people surrounded him. Messages, hugs, my condolences, stay strong. But days went by, and people disappeared. The hardest part was understanding how life continued without her. Around him, nothing changed. The routine crushed him, forcing the idea that life goes on. And where was his mother? He didn't know the answer. How can someone be gone overnight? And so he was left alone, with the pain, with the silence, with the echo of why. He tried to follow the routine, woke up, worked, replied, "I'm fine," on autopilot. But he wasn't fine. You see, it's in the small details that absence screams the loudest, not being able to tell her how his day went. Coming home and not finding her there. But the world seemed to demand that he heal quickly, as if grief had an expiration date. But how do you heal a wound you can't even touch without breaking down? Then came the questions. You're still upset about that? It's been months, man. Some people lose their parents and don't even suffer like this. Lucas didn't know if he felt sadness or anger. Anger at the world, at those who minimized his pain, even at himself, for not being able to move on. He pulled away from friends, stopped replying to messages, started avoiding gatherings, because everywhere. She was missing, even at breakfast where he used to hear, "Eat something, son." At work he became the distracted one, in the group, the distant one, in the mirror, a stranger. One day walking home he saw a woman at the bakery. She looked just like his mom, the expression, the smile, and he broke down, cried in the middle of the street like a child. That day, he didn't go home. He walked for hours, thought about giving up, disappearing. It didn't seem like such a bad idea. Maybe he'd see her again, but he remembered what she always said when he was feeling down. You don't have to be strong all the time, but you need to be honest with what you feel. So he let himself cry. That's when Lucas made a decision. He would stop pretending. He scheduled therapy, started writing letters to his mom every week, not to forget, but to connect. It was his way of keeping the bond. Even if she couldn't reply, he started posting about grief, simple, honest, raw, and to his surprise, people from all over the world started responding. "I lost my mom too. I thought I was the only one who felt this way. Thank you for putting into words what I never could." Lucas realized he wasn't alone. He was just silenced by a society afraid of pain. He began taking better care of himself. Redesigned his routine, changed his diet, started drawing again, a hobby his mom encouraged since he was a kid. He wrote a book with her favorite phrase, "Don't rush, be brave," and little by little. The mornings grew lighter, the nights shorter, the guilt softer. He realized that moving on didn't mean forgetting. It meant honoring, turning longing into fuel. On the first anniversary of her passing, he wrote his final letter. Mom, I don't know if you can hear me from there, but I still feel you here inside. The pain doesn't paralyze me anymore. The longing still aches, but now it drives me. I'm no longer that lost boy. I'm the man you helped shape. Today, I choose to live, for me and for you. He posted the letter. It went viral. Thousands connected. Many cried. Others messaged, "You helped me stand up again." Today, Lucas still misses her. Of course he does. But he's learned that love doesn't die. He became a volunteer in grief support groups, started a project for young people who've lost parents. He gives talks, joins podcasts, writes, supports, and understands. His mission is to make sure no one goes through what he did. In silence, and if you think that's the end of the story, it's not. Because every time he helps someone, he hears his mother's voice. "That's it, my son. You're doing great. Now it's your turn." How many times have you tried to hide your pain to appear strong? How many times have you held back tears because no one would understand? How many times did you want to scream, but only managed to smile? Maybe your pain isn't the same as Lucas's, but what he learned applies to all of us. Grief isn't weakness, it's love needing space. And learning to live again, learning to enjoy life again, isn't a betrayal of who we lost. It's honoring those who taught us how to live. If you're in this process, breathe. You're not alone, and yes, it will hurt, but it will also pass. And when it does, you'll realize that everything that seemed like the end was really the beginning of a new way to love.